Hey guys, I hope you're having a good Monday. It's about 12 p.m. here in Johannesburg, and I've kind of just got finished up with my kind of morning work session from like 6 this morning, and I've had a kind of pre-workout snack. I had a big breakfast, and now I'm gonna get ready to head out to the gym to train a pool session. So I want to just kind of show you my pre-workout routine and kind of what I have before I go out and work out, to fuel my workout, fuel my recovery before I come home, have my post-workout meal and get going with the rest of my day. So when I'm training, I like to have like an optimal nutritional environment within my body, just so that I can have good kind of strength and energy with my sessions, and also that I'm really motivated to train, and I also recover well, because obviously if we're not recovering well, we're not going to get results and keep up with our training performance. So usually I'll have a nice big breakfast with a lot of protein, a lot of carbs and a moderate amount of fats, and then I'll kind of have a mid-morning snack around 10:30ish, and that's usually mainly just carbs and fats, sometimes minimal protein there. Then if I'm training midday, sometimes, or actually usually I am training more in the evening, so I'm able to nourish my body pretty much throughout the day to really give it what it needs to have a good training session. So when I train midday, I like to just fuel it a little bit more. So I'm going to show you exactly what I have. So pre-workout, I don't like traditional pre-workouts, but GNC, which is not really a common brand and they're not really my best, but they make a really pure, simple and strong pre-workout that it really only has minimal ingredients. As you can see here, all it has is arginine, creatine monohydrate, caffeine and beta-alanine, which is for me perfect. They completely transparent with what's in it, how much of each ingredient, which I really like, and I can just alter kind of the scoop or dosage to what I feel is necessary on the day. So I like to have one serving of this. I lost my scoop out, left it in Durban, so let's just use a teaspoon. So I'm just going to use a teaspoon here. So one serving is 2 teaspoons. So I put one serving of that, and then because it's midday, I like to use some extra BCAAs because I haven't eaten as much protein as I usually would have by now. So I'm going to just add 4 grams of BCAAs, which is 1 scoop. This is unflavored, so it mixes perfectly well with the flavor of the pre-workout. It does kind of settle on the top a little bit and is a little bit bitter, but if you shake it well enough, it's pretty good. And then I will just dose up with a little bit more creatine monohydrate, just to give me some extra strength and performance. So this already has 3 grams of creatine. Because of my height, weight and training frequency, I like to have about 8 to 10 grams a day. So I'm just going to top it up with another 2 grams just to make that 5. And then in my post-workout, I'll get another 5 or so. So that's the pre-workout done. So we're just going to mix this up with about 400 mils of water. Okay, a little bit less, keep it nice and sweet. Okay, so pre-workout done. Tastes decent. Okay, then post-workout, because I'm training midday again, I don't tend to have the biggest lunches. They kind of slow me down a bit. So I like to use something like this. So I'm not, as you can see, I'm not tied to any brand. I like to use products that work for me. I really scrutinize the ingredients, the nutritional information, and I really find what works for myself and what I need most. So post-workout, I like to get quite a bit of calories in, and I like to get a lot of carbohydrates and a decent amount of protein. So this specific product, I actually only have half a scoop of this, or half a serving. 1 serving is about 45 grams of protein, 60 carbs, and pretty minimal fats. It's only got 0.3 grams of fat, which is really good for post-workout. And so I have half, so it's about 22 grams of protein, 30 grams of carbs, and then I will still have a lunch within about 30 minutes to an hour after I train. So this I'll take with me to the gym as well, and then I'll just fill it up there after my workout. if I am gonna eat like really soon after, because I get really hungry, so you don't have to eat straight after, but I will then just have a good lunch. You know, this isn't necessary. It's just convenient for me because I do consume a lot of calories, so it really helps out with my day. So this also has creatine in it, so that's going to help top me up after my workouts. So that's pretty much it, as simple as that. So I'm going to drink this on the way to the gym, I'm going to train, just drink water, and then I'm going to have this when I finish. Sometimes I start drinking this towards the end of my workout because sometimes during the day I feel a little bit depleted. I've just got a really strong metabolism, so I can feel a little bit low towards the end of the session. So I'll start sipping on this. And that's pretty much it. Super basic, super simple. Remember, this is for me. Everything here is what I think works best for me. So everyone is different, but it's a good start to really know what's in your products and how they're working for you. So I'm gonna get drinking this. I'm gonna get into the car and let's head to the gym for a pull session. So back and biceps and maybe a little bit of hamstrings as well.
So welcome to the commentary, guys. We're going to run through today's workout and I'm going to kind of go through a few tips and also tell you why I'm doing kind of the exercise I'm doing for this workout. So obviously did a incline walk for a warm-up and did a couple of dynamic exercises and stretches, and then we jumped straight into our first exercise of the day. And as you can see, this is a pull-up. So this is one of my favorite compound exercises, and for each muscle group, I like to choose one or two compounds that I really focus on progressing with, because progressive overload is everything. Yeah, just traditional, doing 4 sets of about 6 to 8 reps with a little squeeze at the top to just really emphasize that contraction in the back and really just controlling the movement overall. Then the next movement that I went into was a traditional dumbbell row, and this is one of my favorite compound exercises for back. I can really feel myself using my lats to really pull that weight backwards, and I really like to kind of have a slight kind of pendulum movement with my dumbbell rows, not just pulling up and down, kind of dragging my elbow towards my hips, and I just feel I get a much larger contraction in my lats when I do that. And to be honest, I never really used to like this exercise because I couldn't feel it. And you'll see here I'm dragging my elbow, I'm not lifting it straight up and down, which I see a lot of people do, and you start to work the bicep and the shoulders a lot more. And as you can see here, my lats are working very heavily to control that weight. And with a movement like this, you really do want to control the weight, because you can very easily kind of swing it, lift it straight up and down, and not really utilize the back muscles as efficiently as they should be utilized with the movement. So after my second pull movement for the back, I moved on to some dumbbell hammer curls. So this is also one of my favorite bicep exercises. So I tend to have pretty weak and slow developing biceps. I'm tall, I've got long limbs, so I really have to come up with creative ways to hit the bicep really hard. And when I do hammer curls, as you can see, I'm gripping the dumbbell right at the bottom, and this creates more tension on the bicep, and it's a lot harder to actually lift or curl the weight up. And as you can see, I'm struggling quite a bit there. So did 4 sets of bicep hammer curls, and I just want to show you again my grip with this. As you can see, I'm holding the bottom of the dumbbell, and it really intensifies the contraction. And when it comes to hammer curls, you really want to keep the elbow as still as possible. As you can see, my elbow is pretty much staying in the exact same spot throughout the whole curl, and this helps me really isolate the bicep a lot more. So yeah, got about 4 sets of 6 to 8 reps per arm here. and then we moved back into another pulling back movement. So again, one of my favorite back movements here is a seal row or a pendule row with the barbell. So I'm placing the barbell on the floor, directly on the floor, and I'm pretty much pulling it from dead weight. And this causes a much more aggressive contraction. And I really love this exercise. So after that, we moved into a superset just to get some volume in the lats. We did about 4 sets of 8 reps there as well. And now I am doing traditional lat pull down, and I'm going to superset this with a reverse grip lat pull down. And you can see the movement here is slightly different. I'm pulling my elbows back, trying to get them behind my body because I want to work more of the upper lat and middle traps in this movement. And this really helps target that area. So just traditional, getting a bit of a stretch at the top and then moving into reverse grip lat pull downs. And here you'll see I'm getting a bit more of a squeeze in the contraction. So holding it a bit longer just to really get some good volume and blood flow into the muscle after performing my 3 main compound movements. And as you can see, these reps, I'm really controlling the movement, squeezing at the bottom, releasing, getting a good stretch, and really just focusing on that mind-muscle connection, which is so often overlooked. You know, really just focusing on using the muscle that I want to use and getting a really good contraction. So then the next superset that I did is using the same machine but very different grip width here. So as you can see now, I'm gripping right at the end of the bar on each side, and now I can't pull my elbows as far back, so I'm working the lats from a different angle here. And because the back is such a big muscle group, it's key to really work it from all different angles. So I like to change my grips up within the same exercise, and it's a subtle change, but you really feel the difference. And you'll see now when I switch up to the reverse grip, I'm also gripping it wider. So you'll see here, I'm not gripping on the inside of that curve. I'm gripping now pretty much in the middle of this bar. And again, I can't pull my elbows as far behind my body, and I'm getting actually a more aggressive contraction by doing this, and I can't use my forearms and biceps as much. So I really like to switch it up, and as you can see there, a bit of a faster momentum, kind of just failed there, but that's cool for my isolation exercises. Then finishing up with the back, again using some cables just for great constant tension on the muscle. Also, one of my favorite exercises is this seated cable row, and as you can see, really focusing on keeping those shoulders pinned back, keeping those muscles aggressively working, and focusing heavily on that contraction. And I always like to finish with the cable movements. Sometimes I'll start with them to pre-exhaust the muscles, but here, really just going for intense contractions on the muscle with really good form to finish off the back. And then we moved on to biceps. So for our second bicep movement, because we did the hammers within the back workout, here we're going for unilateral dumbbell curls without twisting the weight, keeping the palms facing forward. And here we're lifting the elbows slightly forward, whereas with the hammer curls we were keeping it pinned in the exact same position. And this is just to exaggerate the contraction. Now when I'm doing these curls, I really focus on gripping the weight with my ring finger and my pinky, and this further enhances the contraction. As I said, I've got to get creative with my bicep movements and find ways to just intensify the contraction because it is such a weak muscle group for me. So grip with the ring finger and the pinky, it really makes a good difference. So our final movement for biceps is a TRX suspension bicep curl. So a super awesome exercise, a really intense contraction, especially at the end of the workout. And you're basically curling, you know, about 80% of your body weight here, and you're using leverage, and it's an insane finisher for the biceps, and there's a really intense contraction. So for all the exercises there, I did 4 sets of about 6 to 10 reps. And then to finish off, I just did 1 pulling movement for the legs, just to finish off working my posterior chain there. And as you can see, I just did lying hamstring curls. This is the OG of hamstring exercises, one of the best you can do. It's just such an awesome contraction, and you can really vary the tempo at which you do the exercise. So you can see here, I'm really exploding up, squeezing the muscle, and then slowly releasing, getting a stretch, exploding, squeezing, slowly releasing, focusing on that mind-muscle connection and intensifying the movement, really just not going through the motions. So that wraps up the workout.
So just got back from the gym, had a really good pull session, and I did stretch afterwards for about 10-15 minutes, just some upper back, lower back, shoulders, chest, just to open myself up. I do tend to get really tight neck and shoulders and back if I don't kind of cool down and stretch after at least 80% of my sessions. It's very, very vital for everyone, to be honest. Then I had my shake straight after I trained, didn't get too hungry while I was training. And a lot of people ask me, do I take it for that kind of anabolic window? Do you have to have a shake after you train? The answer is definitely not. The reason I personally like to use it is, the main reason, to be honest, is when I get home from gym, or if I'm not going home, I've got a meeting or I'm going somewhere else, I like to just be nourished, because if I get home and I haven't had that, I'm really starving, and I kind of grab whatever's most convenient and whatever's around, and often it's not the best choices. So that really fills me up, and then I have time to either go to a meeting, do some work, get home, prepare some lunch, just depending on what my day's like. So it just fills me up. So that's really why I use it, because it's got a real purpose for me in my day. So yeah, I've had that, and now I'm going to just have some lunch, which is my post-workout meal, and then get back to work for the rest of the day. So because I was away over the weekend, I was in Durban, I don't have much food in the house, so I'm kind of going to have some Woolworths ready-made stuff today for lunch. The great thing about Woolworths is they make awesome minimally processed foods which can really fit well into any diet. So my protein is going to be these spicy sliced chicken breasts, and the nutritional info on here is pretty darn good. For each kind of container, they're quite small, 140 grams. We're getting about over 30 grams of protein and only about 7 grams of fat in here. So really good, light, it's not too heavy, and you get a good amount of protein. Then for my veg, I'm going to have this soup. It's the spinach, broccoli and kale soup. Really nice, again, very minimally processed, pretty low sodium for a packaged soup. Most packaged soups are super high in sodium, and on a cold winter's day like today, this is really awesome. And it's got a whole host of other vegetables, and again, pretty good macros, decent amount of protein per serving, 5 grams. Only got about 10 grams of carbohydrates and about 9 grams of fat. So I'll probably have 2 servings. So it's almost this whole bag of soup, which is 600 grams. So I'm gonna have that with this chicken, and then I've got some sweet potato on the go as well, and I'm gonna have that with my chicken. So I'm kind of getting my protein, my carbs, my fiber, my fats, all from pretty much ready-made foods. Microwave sweet potato takes about 8 minutes. So all in all, ready in about 10 minutes. Healthy, convenient, not ideal, but definitely works, fits in with my day, and I'm perfectly good to go with this. It's nice and light, and I can get on with my day. So I'm gonna get this all together, and I'll see you in a few minutes. So lunch is ready. Literally took about 8 minutes to put together. So I've got my soup in here, full bowl. It's about 500 grams or 500 mils, 2 cups. And then I've got 140 grams of chicken and 250 grams of sweet potato with some pink Himalayan salt. Not too exciting or adventurous for me. I don't like to eat like this. I really enjoy cooking, making flavorful, healthy food, but this is super convenient. And I got back so late last night that I just haven't had time. But this serves a perfect function. I'm getting what I need. not ideally what I always eat, but really works and fits into my day. Interested to try the soup because I'm a legendary soup maker, if you ask Alexa. So let's see. It's not great, to be honest. It's quite insipid and weird kind of consistency. But yeah, easy way to get the veg in and nice on a winter day. I can definitely make it better myself. I make quite a rocking broccoli soup, so I'll show you guys that one. But yeah, gonna eat this up and then get to work for the rest of the day. So we'll see you guys later, and yeah, thanks for watching this kind of first workout vlog. And yeah, looking forward to doing more of these, getting more into it, getting more skilled, and really bringing you guys some awesome content and value. So until then, we'll chat later. Cheers, guys.